inside your bedroom. We stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
Well, hello there, and welcome to Black Girl Love, the podcast. And I am your host, Kat Williams, joining you once again for our 10th episode. That's right, number 10. We are racking and stacking over here. You ready? Let's do it.
Inside your bedroom.
Well, y'all know we're going to do it. We're going to jump right into it. And I'm a little bit upset this week, y'all. Just a little bit. And feel free to join me on this upset train. And the reason why I'm upset is because I want something. And they done priced me out of my want. That's right. They have priced me out of my want. I want wigs. If you didn't know, I have locks. And I've had locks for 20 years, if not more. I think 20, maybe 21, maybe 22, maybe even 23. I don't know, but 20 at least. And I don't want to get rid of my locks. You know, my locks are me at this point. I've had them for 20 years. But I want something different. I want to do something a little bit different with my hair. I don't want to shave anything. I don't want to whack off one side. Don't want to do an undercut. You know, none of that stuff. I've tried the dyeing route. I normally leave it black, but I did some purple right before I started traveling, and that didn't go well. So, you know, I'm just like, what can I do with these locks that are going to make me love them for another 20 years, you know? And I found wicks. Wicks is a Florida thing. It's just like locks on steroids, I guess. I don't know. Depending on who you're talking to. To me, they're just gorgeous. They're a little bigger, depending, again, on who you're talking to. Because I actually want some smaller ones. But basically, they combine locks. I have smallish locks on purpose. This is actually my second set of locks. I had locks for like a year. Took them out. Cut them off, rather. Then I came back. I was like, nah, we're going back. So my second set, though, was smaller than my first set. My first set was sort of big, you know, because I'd heard that, you know, you don't want them too small. It's going to wear, blah, blah, blah. So I went with a smaller one the second time because I realized that the bigger set just wasn't me. But now, 20 years later, you know, they just here. They just hanging. They pretty. I like my locks. I love my locks. But I wanted some wigs, and I figured, you know, why not? I've seen some freeform ones. That's not me. I'm not going to lie. I'm more of a manicured lock girl. And that's okay. If you don't like manicured locks, you ain't got to. And if you don't like freeform locks, you don't have to. It's your choice, honey. Don't get caught up. Don't get it twisted. So anyway, I reached out to this one creator that I have been following for a little over a year now, probably more. Because once I found wicks and really just, you know, following the vision of it all and seeing, you know, how they've started and where they're at now, the evolution, I'm like, this is for me. I think this is where I'm going next. And I really want some nice, pretty ones. And I'll throw up a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. Anyway, so and you can find the picture and the visual aspect. I think it's going to be on YouTube. Anyway, I sent a message. You know, I'm like, hey, I want me some wicks. And how much is it going to cost me? Now, y'all, I knew it wasn't going to be cheap. Don't get me wrong. I knew it wasn't going to be cheap. Because I had been pricing to a certain extent. I've been, you know, following the trend, watching TikToks and IG posts and just, you know, reading. And I knew it wasn't going to be cheap. But what I did not know was that they were going to price me out of my want. Because it's just a want. I have locks, you know. I just wanted to do something different. So I was expecting to pay $1,000. Yeah, I know you go, $1,000? I know. But it's a lot of work. And I respect that. I respect it. So I had $1,000 set aside in my mind, in my head, in my bank account. I was like, I'm going to save up. I'm going to stack my coins. Sell some feet pics. You know what I'm saying, y'all. I was going to do it. I was going to be there for my wigs. Baby, that guy sent back that price. And I just looked at the screen. And I just looked. Now, when I was looking, I ain't going to lie. Inside, I was cussing. But I'm a polite broke broad. Because that's what I realized I am. I gotta be broke. Because this price was ridiculous. All right, so I know you're going, how much was it? How much was it? Cat, how much could it have been? How much you think it was? I mean, it's work. You know, you plucking hair, you making it reform, you know what I'm saying? And I get it. It's work. And I have long locks. My locks go down to my butt. Right? And they old. Like I said, I haven't had these locks for 20-some years. And I need a little maintenance on them, a little bit more hardcore maintenance than me maintaining it. I need some work done on them. You know, they pretty though. I get compliments all the time. They pretty. And I love them. I just don't know if I love them that much. Hell, I don't know if I love myself that much. And that's just being honest. Because that's pricey. All right. So I know you're going, but how much? How much is it, Cat? You've been talking to Storm, and you ain't gave us a price yet. And I think it's because I'm still in shock. Because the amount quoted is seriously some serious money. You know, I ain't rich. I would love to be. I volunteer as tribute to be rich, to let you know how it feels. You know, I'll come back on every week and tell you what I bought this week with my riches, how I spent my rich week chilling on my rich couch, walking in my rich Crocs. You know what I'm saying? Rich bitch shit. That's what I would do. Afternoon tea, high tea, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, vacations, all that. And being honest, I do all that now. But it would have to be on a different level. You know what I'm saying? I have to show you some pics. I'll show you like what I would do if I had a job. And what I would do if I was rich. It's different versions. Like the hotel I would pick now, it's totally different from the hotel I would pick if I was rich. I mean, you understand. You get it. We are all logical adults here. Right? Anyway, I was excited. I was ready. I could already envision my new wicks, right? The outfits. I was going to color the tips. Y'all, I was finna go through a second evolution of who I am as a person with these wicks. Because again, I've had these locks for 20 plus years. They have become a part of my identity. I was ready for a new identity. I was finna go into the witness protection program with my wicks. That's right. That's right. Anyway, they said $3,200 real dollars. USD, honey. $3,200 for my hair. And it ain't like, you know, they put any other hair in my hair. It's my hair. I ain't gotta go buy no hair. I mean, they're gonna have to wash it, you know. And I know it's gonna take some hours. Probably like 8-12 hours for somebody to do my hair. And I had even went up and said $1,500 in my head. I was like, maybe $1,500. I know I got long hair. You know? Nope. $3,200. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Now, unless I become rich. Now, if you see me with them, just let it be known. I got rich one day. I got rich or I got sponsored. And I'll take either one. Either one. If you want to sponsor me and give me some wigs, call your girl. Drop me a line. And I'll answer. And I don't normally answer my phone. I don't like talking on the phone. But I'll talk to you. I sure will. Until they get my wigs in. Then after that, I can't talk to you no more. Because, you know, it's just being honest, you know. Just being honest. Sugaring ain't for me. I am not sugar baby material. Mainly because people bore me. And I don't like being bothered. But, you know, I'll talk to you the day you put some money in my account. Because that's good sugar babying. Sugar babying. That's me. Anyway, y'all, that is the black portion of Black Girl Love, the podcast. I am Cat Williams. Let's take a brief break. Come back with a little bit of girl.
We stopped counting the days, lost in the rhythm.
All right, y'all, we are back with Black Girl Love, the podcast. And in this section, you know, because we do split the podcast up into 3 digestible bites. In the girl section, we talk about stuff that's related to, I don't know, being a woman. But in this case, we're going to talk about food. And I know you're like, well, what kind of food? Because I know you like to eat. And I do. I do. Which is why I'm sitting over with this upset stomach right now. Because I ate something that wasn't right. But one of the things, you know, if you didn't know, I'm a traveler. And I've been traveling for quite a few years now. I've done solo traveling, travel with my family, all those things, travel with friends. And when you go to a location, you're going to be there for a certain amount of time. There are groups that are just for that city, for that country possibly. And there are divided groups. You know, I guess that wouldn't be the right word, but there are separate groups. And some of the groups are general public. And some of them get very specific, right? They can be divided by demographics, wants, desires, all those things. But anyway, I'm in I don't know how many travel groups for various locations, various countries, various cities. If it interests me and I want to visit, then I promptly go over to Facebook and I look up the city and I add all the groups that I think may assist me in my journey, right? So there are some groups that are specifically for black travelers, because I am black. Just as like there are some groups for LGBTQI travelers, because I am that as well. But what's funny to me is in almost all of the black groups, for whatever location it might be, there's always going to be these 2 questions. One of these 2 questions. The first one is going to be, where can I find grits? And the second one is going to be, where can I find collard greens? I promise you, it's been asked. One, if not both, of those questions has been posed in a group. And it's always answered, generally with, ain't happening, Captain. Yep, just not going to find it here. And that hurts. You don't realize how much you like grits until you cannot have them. This is coming from a Southerner. I am Southern born and raised, baby. Mississippi. M-I, crooked letter I, humpback, I. That is I, right? And I actually enjoy being from Mississippi. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to live there ever again. But it was okay. You know, but when you grow, you grow. And Mississippi ain't growing, it's just there. It's, you know, it's going backwards, because it's always going backwards. But hey, it is the nature of the beast. So yeah, I eat grits a lot. You know, I eat rice a lot. Those are staples of our diet. And then you don't think about it. You're like, I'm gonna eat some grits for breakfast in the morning. You know, when you move somewhere, you like, I'm just gonna get some grits, eggs, and bacon. I just eat some grits and fish, some grits and chicken. I love it. All of it. You're not gonna find it in a lot of places. And then a lot of people always say, well, you can get polenta. Polenta ain't grits, though. It ain't. I mean, if you ain't got nothing else to do and you can't find not nary a grit, you can eat you a polenta. It ain't gonna taste the same. It's ground differently. And there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. If that's all you got, that's all you got. So I used to find polenta and I just had to make it do what it do, right? And so here in Mexico, people be muling in grits. You know, somebody say, I'm going to the States. You like, can you bring me back some grits? Can you bring me back some grits? They be like, what kind? I'm like, the kind you bring in your bag, baby. I don't care. Just bring me back some grits. Instant, cook for a long time, freeze them, bake them. I don't care. Just as long as it's got grit on the container and don't say polenta. Because I don't want no dang polenta. Sorry, French people. I don't like it that much. I'll eat it. I don't like it that much. And that's just being honest. But anyway, every group, they're going to ask that question. And it happens all the time in the Mexican groups that I'm in. Somebody's always like, what are grits? Then they go, what are collard greens? And I don't even eat collard greens that often. I eat grits way more than I do collard greens. I probably can eat grits once a week, because it's just a morning staple or the evening staple. I actually, wherever I think you can eat rice or potatoes, anything that's a carb, starch, I feel like you can put grits there. So if I got pot roast, I'll put some grits. I got fish, I'll do some grits. I got baked chicken, I'll do some grits. Do a little gravy over it, I'll chew it up. Baby, it's delicious. Come to my house, I'll cook for you one day. But anyway, I didn't realize how much I craved collard greens, though, until I couldn't have them. They were a staple in my household as well. Like a Sunday dinner. Thanksgiving, Christmas, you will always find a pot of collard greens. You go to my grandma's house, there's always some kind of vegetable. My family is good for an entire meal with no meat. Beans, cornbread, okra, fried green tomatoes, all that. Now, we'll also eat every part of the pig, so don't get me confused over here. From the rooter to the tutor. My grandma and them had a hog farm behind the house. And you could tell when they had sliced up a pig because it was pork on the table, baby. Ain't nothing wrong with a little pork in your grits either. Or, And, I can't find collard greens, though. That's where we were going. Can't find collard greens anywhere. And I don't know why. They're such a good vegetable. Now, I will admit that unlike a lot of my people, I don't like meat in my collard greens. No, I do not. I don't like meat in my vegetables. I want vegetables. I don't like vegetables that much. But when I eat vegetables, I don't want meat in them. Because I can eat meat every day. I don't like vegetables every day. I ain't going to even pretend I do. But when I eat them, I want them how God intended, how nature intended. Just give me the vegetables, please. Don't put no meat in it. Y'all put a whole leg of a pig in some collard greens, or a whole turkey, smoked turkey in the collard greens, and a ham hock with it. And then it just tastes like meat juice with greens. And I'm like, I don't understand. When y'all talking about them greens is good. No, you mean the meat is good. Because that's all you tasting is the meat. And that's okay if that's what you want. Just admit that that's what you want, though. I do vegan collard greens because that's what I like. I like them just, a little spicy. I may put a little chicken stock in there just to, elevate it a little bit. Because we geeky over here. Just a little chicken stock. But that's it. That's it. And I don't cook them for 15 hours. I don't understand that either. And I don't smother them in a lot of water, because it ain't turnips. It ain't mustard. These collards. You got to look up how to cook food. And maybe why you have to put all that meat in there, because you ain't cooking it right. And you don't know how to cook it. And I blame your grandmama for that. That's just being honest. Hey, we got to look back at the source. If your grandma cook, you probably can't cook. Ooh, we're going to debate about that. We could, because my grandma can cook throw down. And I think I can cook. It took me years, though, because my mama can't cook. And if she ever hear this podcast, I said it. I did. My mama was a hamburger helper, spaghetti, and I said spaghetti queen. We had that every week, if nothing else, and chicken and rice. And I get it. She was raising 3 kids. It ain't easy. But she can't cook, so it's all gravy. Anyway, that is what we're talking about. And I miss collards. I've only had collard greens, I think, 2 times in the last 5 years. And when I head back to the States, I'm going to grab me some. That's right, I'm going to grab me some collard greens. Probably ain't going to eat a whole bunch of them. I just want the taste in my mouth again. I get my grit fetish. Is that a fetish? Yeah. I get that satiated all the time. Somebody's always muling in some grits, so you ain't worried about that. But you can't mule in them collard greens. And, I don't do canned collards. No, ma'am, no, sir. I thought about it. But I had them Glory collard greens one time in a can. It wasn't no Glory. It wasn't gloriful at all. It was sad and depressing. They had been cooked till they wasn't even nothing no more. It was just mulch. Could have just laid that mess out in the yard. That's what it was. That's what it was. And I stand by it. Anyway, y'all, we are nearing the end of this segment. Black Girl Love the Podcast. Stand by for the last and only. Well, all right. We are on the last and final segment of Black Girl Love the Podcast. And in this segment, we usually talk about something related to love. Let me tell you one thing that I found that black people love. So when you travel, or when I travel rather, specifically if I'm going to be, and if I said that wrong, screw you. If I'm going to be traveling to an area and I'm going to be there for more than a week, right? If I'm going to be by myself, I try to find Facebook groups that talk about that area so I can ask questions, do some research, especially because we were doing slow traveling where we were staying in the area for at least 3 months. So basically it means you're living there. So you want to know the norms a little bit more. You want to know where you can get items and things like that to make that 3 months the best 3 months that you possibly can have. And so I find these groups. And the groups can be many for an area. For Mexico, for Merida, there's probably like 15 groups. You find the ones that work for you. Those groups can be different in nature. Some groups are all about food. Some groups are all about like housing. Some groups are all about taking tours or doing touristy stuff while you're there. And then some groups are just about, meeting other people while you're there. And sometimes all those things can be found in one group. There are groups that break it down into, you can be black to be in this group, or LGBTQI to be in this group, or Muslim, anything. Anything you want to, you can make a group about it. It's probably on Facebook already, and it exists, private or otherwise. So anyway, in these groups, especially the black groups, for any part of the world, someone is going to ask these two questions. One of them is going to be, where can I find grits? And the other one, where can I find collard greens? I don't know what it is about black folks and grits and collard greens, but I'm from Mississippi, born and raised, and I love me some grits, honey. Love them, love them, love them, love them, love them. I can't eat them every day because they sit on me like a brick. But I love me some grits. And it's so bad here that when anybody goes to the U.S. and you're like, hey, have a great trip. Can you bring me some grits back? Because that's the only way you're going to get them here. You're not going to find them. And so that's the answer to a lot of those questions. Where can I find grits? You ain't going to find them. Now, you can find some polenta. If you like that. It's not grits, though. I know people going to tell you otherwise. It ain't. I don't care. You cannot convince me. I've had both. I've cooked both. It just ain't the same. It's just a different grinding technique, coarseness of it all, size of it all. It may even be the corn. I don't know. I just know it is not the same. So, I don't mind polenta. I don't jump up and down for joy when I see it. But, if I ain't got no grits, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to be a little bit mad, a little bit salty. I promise you. But I'm going to be okay. Now, collards, I have yet to find collard greens in my journey. I'm sure there's somewhere out there that they got them. I just don't know why everybody don't have them. It's such a beautiful vegetable. I love a good collard green. I don't eat them as much as grits, but that's okay. I still eat them. And when I go back to the States, I always jump in line for me some collard greens because, it's a good vegetable. And I really don't know why, though, when people cook collard greens, they put so much meat in them. Like, why y'all got a whole pig leg in there, a whole ham hock, 2-3 of them? You know how much salt is in a ham hock? Ooh, y'all, that's why we dying. And then you got a whole turkey wing up in there, smoked, unsmoked, barbecued. What we got all that meat in the collard greens for? Y'all ain't cooking no meat in the side. Why can't it just be a vegetable? That's my one rant about collard greens. I don't like meat in my collard greens. I don't like meat in any of my vegetables. Just give me the vegetables, people. Just give me the vegetable. That's what it was. It was grown in the earth for me to boil it, fry it, saute it, and eat it by itself. You know what I'm saying? And some good cornbread. That's all you need in life. Cornbread and collard greens. I promise you, you're gonna be all right. My family, again, I'm from Mississippi. They can serve a whole meal with not a speck of meat in sight. And not to say that we don't love meat. I'm from Mississippi. We cornbread fed with a little pig on the side. My grandma had hog corn behind the house. And you can always tell when they had butchered one because it was pork galore. From the rooter to the tutor, baby, I done ate it. There probably is not one part of the pig I have not eaten. And that's pigtail, pig ears. That was a weird meal, but hey, we tried it. So, moving back to grits, you're not going to find that too many places. Again, like I said, you're going to find polenta. But my issue with grits is you sugar folks. Why is you putting sugar on grits? If you wanted some sugar, go get you some oatmeal, some cream of wheat. Why are you desecrating the holiness, the sanctity of grits by sprinkling sugar on there? That's not the way of the Lord. You will not get into heaven putting sugar on your grits. And we can debate, we can fight, we can fuss, and you can cuss. But let me tell you, you put sugar on your grits, I'm a side-eye you. Bombastic side-eye. Every time. There shouldn't even be no sugar on the table when you're eating grits. Like, why? It's savory. You can eat grits for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Matter of fact, if it's a dish that I can use rice or potatoes, I can substitute it for grits. They're all one and the same to me. You do a roast beef with mashed potatoes, I do a roast beef with grits. I sure will. A beef cheek with grits, slam it on the table, please. Fish and grits, who? Chicken and grits, slap your mama, I sure will. Let me tell you, I make a mean baked chicken and grits. Don't tell me that you need sugar in your grits, because you don't. I was going to say use a lie, but that'd be harsh. My grandma said you don't say the word lie. But you don't know how to cook. Maybe I say it that way. Because if you put sugar on your grits, you can't cook. If you can only eat collard greens with meat in them, you can't cook. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. And if your grandma can't cook, you probably can't cook. So I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm really not. I'm not even looking at your mama, because it comes from your grandmama. If your grandma can cook, you should be able to cook. My mama can't cook. And you can tell I said that. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Hamburger helper all day long is my mama thing, baby, when we was children. I get it. She was raising 3 kids. She was busy. We spaghetti to death. You know what I'm saying? Some chicken and rice to death. Hamburger helper to death. Every week. Same meal. But that's okay. I still love all 3 of those things. Except for hamburger helper. I don't know what they did to the recipe, but it don't taste the same. I make it from scratch, which really sucks, right? Because I really wanted a quick meal. But I can't no more because they done messed up the hamburger helper. Just the little things in life. Taste buds done changed me. Maybe I'm getting old. Which is why you need to leave that pork alone and them collard greens, y'all. And you need to leave that sugar alone on them grits. What you need sugar for? You cannot justify to me sugar on grits. You can't really justify to me ham hocks and collard greens. I just, I mean, I get it. But I don't get it. I don't. And with that being said, y'all, we are winding it down, coming to an end of another fantabulous week here at Black Girl Love the Podcast. It's been great. It's been busy. The world is opening up. It's summertime for a lot of places, even though there is snow on the ground in some places still. Global warming is a beast. I mean, we can see it every day, huh? Yep, the aliens are coming. Beware, be wary, and be ready. I am Kat Williams, and I'll see you next week, y'all. Peace and love.
Inside your bedroom,